Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mania 7 Key World Cup 2024. And we're back with another day of another new matches coming up here. Especially with this block, there will be two matches in front. And this time we're going to be seeing Australia versus Brazil, the only team that is only a seed in difference. And it's going to be really cool to see. I'm B finally commentating alongside Potassium. How are you doing?
I am extremely excited for this match, of course, being the closest in seed with all the matches that we're seeing this weekend. Australia being seed 8, Brazil winning their match last week, so they're seed number 9. And also, I think in this match, we're going to see a little bit of a Rice versus LN kind of dynamic here. I know Australia is predominantly an LN team, you know, with players like Luca and Oct4. While Brazil, I feel like in the qualifiers and in their match has showed a little bit stronger with their Rice accuracy in particular. So that's going to come into play quite a lot here in this slightly easier pool.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not to the levels of the qualifier where the higher end of the difficulty scaling, but round of 16 is still rather tricky to get through, especially when I think the map pool by itself should be fine for them, especially when they're already as high seeded as it is. But in terms of maybe the strategy that they're going for, but I think you might as well just say that this is probably like the Rice Allen dynamic that you've seen here.
Yeah, definitely. But that said, I do think that Australia has the players for early game Rice Ac as well, and the same goes for the other side. I know Tart on Brazil's side has been showing some extremely strong LN accuracy throughout the tournament so far, and of course Silly Fangirl has been around forever, kind of, so he's always someone you're going to expect to be putting up high numbers on pretty much everything. So I think this one can definitely go either way. We might even see it go all the way into tiebreaker is a definite possibility here.
Yeah, it depends on the mentality for both of these teams, really. I've seen a couple of players of them. They have been pretty excited to see how this would go for the rest of the remainder of the match. And I think Australia is also pumped up as well, from what I can see here. Well, the supporters out there are also pretty excited to see that Australia can go this far in with their, I guess, pretty much a almost complete overhaul. In comparison to the roster from last year, this one is already packed the punch already.
Yeah, absolutely. Australia getting their best players in this year, as well as the rise of Oct4 coming in the past years, a relatively new player. So he's only really gotten better in the past year and zoomed all the way up into, you know, top 30 right now, I think, global, if you look at PP rankings. So Australia definitely looking the strongest they've ever looked this year, and Brazil, of course, still has some of their key players here to try and make a deep run in the bracket. This is going to be a pretty important match, I think, for both teams. And it looks like Australia is going to protect Poodle, and Brazil going to protect Rice 5, so the mixed Rice pick. And they are understandably going to ban LN1. I think this is going to be the most common ban that we'll see if it's left up.
Yeah, absolutely. Being LN1 is not a slouch, and we do see 9 Dumb here being banned by Australia. So we got a bit of a dynamic in terms of bans. So I think it's pretty expected on what goes where in terms of picks. So I guess this Australia's pick might have been pretty obvious, I feel, given on the LN of Ivory territory.
Yeah, I definitely think like 9 Dump is like that kind of technical pattern is definitely the type of thing that I think Australia is least comfortable on when you look at this pool as a whole. Whereas Brazil obviously banning LN1, I think that's just the most obvious ban ever. Australia didn't protect it, I think, because they just also feel not the most comfortable on it themselves. So they'll instead opt for the other LN picks. I wonder what they'll pick first. I expect absolutely one of the LNs or hybrids. I don't expect Australia to touch the Rice whatsoever this match.
Yeah, I feel like Australia in this case, given they're already banned. I mean, I've seen some couple scores. They are not slouch. They are no slouch in terms of it, but it just in terms of competitiveness in the match. I guess the mentality of not choking, which could be seen for most of the tournament so far. You don't really want to choke anything in this pool, or regardless on the later pools.
Yeah, I do think the hybrids are going to be a little bit interesting though, because although I say Australia is definitely strong on the LNs, the hybrids, if you look at stage 3 from the qualifiers, like kind of the easier of the hybrids here, Brazil did put up a very, very good score on that one. And actually, Australia's going to opt to go into the hybrids right away. So we're going to get hybrid 1, more of the straightforward one out of the 3.
Yeah, the more generic kind that is understandable so, because when you said that it's almost a stage 3 qualifier, because it's also a generic hybrid that is along the lines of that difficulty. So I believe Australia should have this I guess in their roster to be able to play most of these.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing Luca and Oct coming in for Australia, and Tart and Silly Fangirl for Brazil. I think these are the 4 players we're going to be expecting to play most of the time. Maybe we'll see My Angel Zila coming in for Australia on some of the Rice picks. But other than that, I think this is going to be the core 4 players here in the match.
We also Brazil do have also as well as this Madrigal as well, being the serve as a backup for most of the LNs if they really want to field to actually play most of these. But given their history proposals for Tart and Silly Fangle is there's no question about that they can actually play these now.
Yeah, I do think this is an interesting as a first pick. I guess eventually Australia would have picked it anyway at some point, but I do think, maybe the LNs do favor Australia a little bit more than this one, because I know I am a little bit concerned. I think Silly Fangirl and Tart can get some very high accuracies on this one in particular. But we'll have to see here. First pick of the match.
You're going to invoke some reactions to both of these teams, and we're seeing Mirror coming up from Tart, which understandably so. There are some couple of hand biases that might need to be mitigated or some sort.
And here we go, good start for all 4 players coming right out the gate here. A little bit of a drop for Tart in terms of the accuracy, very slightly. Of course, this one being 2.5 minutes long, plenty of time to recover accuracies throughout the map. It's going to come down to the misses, as we've seen a lot from this map. It's been very rare that we're seeing double FCs from both teams.
Yeah, I guess the more appropriate way that would be Tart missing, which I believe that would be just slightly a little bit towards Australia at the moment, but not by much really, because Ruka is actually kind of struggling in terms of accuracy as far as head.
Yeah, Luca dropping a lot in the accuracy, but maintains the combo, and Tart finds another miss. So now this is going to give Australia a little bit more of a lead here as Luca starts to stabilize the accuracy, but Oct4 with the miss as well, dropping down to 99.7, so not a massive miss, but still one that's going to even out the scores just a little bit, as Silly Fangirl still staying with that 99.8% FC, that's keeping Brazil in it.
Yeah, being the highest accuracy from Australia, Oct4 might actually take a bit of a damage to Oct4, but Ruka needs to gain their act as high as he can, because there's a couple 200 sparse 200s here and there that might actually just a little bit lower than you would expect from Australia, and Brazil is probably gonna take it out in terms of accuracy at this point.
Yeah, we can see Tart increasing the accuracy up to 99.4 now, up from about 99.1 I think it was earlier after the misses. So this accuracy is raising pretty quickly for Brazil, although Silly Fangirl's dropped down a little bit now. So down to match around Oct's level in terms of the accuracy. And there's only a quarter of the map left. This is ending pretty quickly, but 4,000 points in the lead, not very safe whatsoever. I think Australia's going to manage to keep the lead, but these combos are the most important things.
4,000 is not a lot. There's a couple of tricky patterns on the most of the LN releases here and there. Might actually just trip up some, maybe in terms of accuracy, but not combo-wise.
Oh, and everyone's holding on. There's no misses towards the very end on the last patterns, and I think Australia's going to manage to take this just barely. Holding my breath at the very end
barely.
There, but 4,800 points, very, very close as a first pick here. And we can see Silly Fangirl leading the way with that FC 992K. Australia holding, the almost exact same scores between their 2 players. And that consistency across the team is what did it.
if Ruka missed at any point, that could have been a Brazil's point there. But I guess Ruka's kind of saved it in a way because of the FC as well. But you gotta be careful because Nate is also Silly Fango is also very good at getting a extremely good ratios.
Yeah, that ratio difference might come into play as well when we're going over. I can only assume that Brazil is going to pick one of the Rices, although after seeing that, maybe the hybrids are not the worst idea either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely expect
here.
I would expect something like maybe even Rice 1. I don't think we've seen Rice 1 being played. I think it's been banned almost every single match. Yeah. And this is definitely one that I think the Rice-favored teams will be picking very early on if they can, because it is speed, and I think speed is something that is hard to be comfortable with unless you really have practiced that particular skill set.
Yeah, another one of those occasions where speed is, you kind of don't want to short shoot it a little bit too hard, because the speed by itself is already pretty high for this kind of BPM. It's not consistent one for streaming though. There's some bits of tech bits here and there, so you're not to be too concerned about short shooting in general.
But yeah, it's very hard to kind of autopilot these kind of maps because it's very, very easy to mess up one of these kind of weird stare patterns and end up breaking your combo. And I think with only 2 minutes long, I think a combo break could definitely make a pretty big score swing in one side or the other. We're going to get My Angel Zila coming in, the Rice accuracy specialist for Australia. In for Luca, and Oct4 going to stay in as well. So this is Brazil's first pick, going to look to tie up the score early on here.
Being this an upgrade, this is going to be a lot more fast-paced than what it is. You have to see where the speed can go a long way for Australia to be able to catch up in terms of accuracy, because Silly Fango on the intro is doing awesome right now.
Yeah, Silly Fango on these kind of like Rice maps, on these Rice ratio maps, he's absolutely insane. And we can see 99.87 way ahead of everyone else in the lobby. Actually, Oct4 kind of catching up just a little bit here. But Brazil's maintaining a couple hundred points of a lead early on in this map.
Barely a couple.
Yeah, Tart actually dropping down accuracy, matching My Angel Zila right now. And Oct4 is not far behind Silly Fango at this point. So this difference in accuracy is not very big. There's still plenty of the map to go. Any 200s. Oh, it's flicking. Oh. It's flickering. Tart finds a couple of 200s, it looked like there. Down to 99.4 actually. And now My Angel Zila beating that out. It's going to flick back and forth. I don't even know who has the lead right now.
It's anybody's game right now, because the tech bits are probably the only thing that you can really sharpshoot, but Tart actually has taken 200s as well as My Angel Zila.
Yeah, 200s from both players on Australia there, dropping down in accuracy. And now My Angel Zila and Tart both matching. Oct is behind Silly Fangirl still.
Nate doesn't take any damage whatsoever. It's actually increasing his accuracy, and it's what gives the Brazil lead right now.
Yeah, oh, and that's a miss. That might seal the deal here for Australia from My Angel Zila. Silly Fangirl, though, still holding on to 99.83%. This is on 994k pace, holding extraordinary ratio.
There's not that much left in the chart unless there's this little bit of a sweet tech bits here, and there's nothing left. But they're both trading for Tart and My Angel Zila, but that's really not going to be much of a damage at all. Look at Silly Vango go, only 994.7. That's a DB1 double X.
That is an insane score from Silly Fango. Oct as well with a very, very high accuracy FC. But just no one there to quite match that same level that Silly Fangirl is putting up on that Rice accuracy.
That's a pretty, not a safe point by any means for Brazil, but that is indeed one of the closer ones we probably for some players, I believe. It's not on the levels of April 14 slow, but it's still like you have to make sure that you actually get the timings right for in this.
Points, almost catastrophic at the end for Australia, but they
If that miss,
managed to hold
oh my
on.
god! If that miss was a second earlier, then this would have been a different story.
Yeah, just a few notes earlier, and we would have seen Brazil taking that point as a break.
Enough, the
I
course
think
pick.
this is the best pick for Brazil right now, being Rice 2. This is a map that can, I think Silly Fangirl in particular, can really flex his pure ratio ability, as we saw on Rice 1. You know, if you can see, you know, a Scorvy 1 double S 994k on the speed pick, imagine what he can do on this pick.
Yeah, I mean, especially with this is only like a around 15 or 20 BPM higher than like Primitrix. This is similar to that in terms of density. It's just on whether or not you can actually gain accuracy as high as you can.
Yeah, of course, misses are going to be a pretty big deal with this map in particular as well, because this is more of a straightforward chord stream pick. So these players should all be pretty comfortable comboing this, all things considered.
Yeah, the standard OD for a chord stream like this. I mean, a little bit on the high side, but I mean it's from what most core streams are, it's a little bit standard. So we could see some accuracy going on here. Like Nate already had like 100% of the very first 100 notes. Almost there though.
Oh, that's just My Angel's Law and both Silly Fangirl and Oct as well off with very good starts here. Tart dropping a little bit, but oh, that's a miss from My Angel's Ela.
Oh. Already a miss just before 400, so the damage might have been lesser than you would think. But it's already a miss when everyone else is already in the combo pace. But Tart also has a lower accuracy than Zila.
But that's the thing is that My Angel's Ela had the highest accuracy on the Australian team just before that miss. So that was a very significant act drop as well. They were matching Silly Fangirl at the start. But now overall, it does look like Brazil has that accuracy advantage as well as the combo advantage from that miss earlier. Tart actually dropping a little bit of accuracy right there, but so does Oct. So it balances out and Brazil maintains this lead, a few thousand points.
Just a few thousand, and I guess the miss by itself is kind of damaging enough.
Oh, actually, this is a big act drop here from Tart, dropping quite a lot of 200s, down to 99.3. So now Australia within striking distance, at least within the act department. So if we see, one miss from Brazil, I think this is definitely winnable here.
I think I might have saw like a couple 200s by Ock on these break section almost, but at the same time, you would need Australia to commit a mistake here.
Yeah, accuracy from Tart is building back up because of this break section though, so managing to catch up with My Angel's Ela again. Oct4 staying around that 99.6 mark, while Silly Fangirl still way above everyone else in the lobby, and that's the big difference maker here. I think now, My Angel's Ela, another miss. That might just seal it. There's not that much time left in the match. Even if there are misses from Brazil, I don't think there's enough time for Australia to come back from this one. And it's going to be a very solid double FC, it looks like, from Brazil.
Yeah, absolutely insane to see two FCs and already only a single 200 by Nate, and also Tart BTW just very close to missing there actually. It might have been an early hit too, but that's still Oct4's performance is also not to be slouched at either.
Yeah, Oct putting up a good performance definitely, for sure. But 995k Silly Fangirl, not really much Australia can do about that. I feel like if there were no misses on Australia's side, it would have been close, but hard to even say. I think Brazil might still have won either way with that accuracy.
Yeah, 2-2 now. Still on the best of 5 situation going on here, and Australia does have one more that they're actually the protected pick, and also the other 2 hybrids that they can go with.
Yeah, one more LN map left. Maybe one that is a little bit more comfortable than LN3 that was played before, and it is of course Australia's Protect, so I do expect it to come out. I think now would be a good time to pull out for sure. I don't think you necessarily want to risk one of the hybrids just yet.
And I don't think you want to risk to sequential emotions either, because that's the most polarizing hybrid that maybe Brazil is already have a hidden weapon that they have in the bag.
Yeah, so we're just waiting here, deciding, and it is going to be Poodle. So LN2 being picked here for Australia. They're Protect.
Yep, they're protected. Brazil still haven't picked their protected pick yet, so we might actually go into that after this. But yeah, I think it's still have this though.
Yeah, pretty likely that we're seeing both Protects coming in for these next 2 picks. But yeah, first we are having this LN density pick, so a lot more straightforward. I think that might result in maybe less misses from the side of Australia, but at the same time, I do think Brazil is going to have a bit of a better time maintaining the accuracy on this one compared to LN3. So the accuracies on this one might be fairly close between the 2 teams.
I think the pacing on this one is just you have to FC this like all the way through, because accuracy it might matter as much, but you have to be careful about sharpshooting these as well.
We're seeing actually swaps from Brazil coming in here. We're seeing Lothus Fangirl and Silly Fangirl.
Swap finally.
Yeah, Tart being swapped out, and it looks like Luca should be coming into the lobby as well for Australia as expected. And also Brazil swapping
No,
again.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's dependent on who is actually scoring has the most consistency, and I believe might be Tard in this case.
Yeah, okay, we are seeing Tart coming back, so it was just a bait all along, switching and then switching back. I do think that Tart is very good at these kind of maps. You know, we saw last week on a lot of the LN maps that were played in the round of 24, Tart got quite a few of those MVP performances in that match. So I think definitely a player that is strong with the LN accuracy as long as they're comfortable with it.
Yeah, alright. We should be seeing soon enough to see. Might be we've seen a couple of LNs. I mean, only one LN and a hybrid. The other one was a hybrid. So the performance should not be too far apart, as Brazil should have the upper hand in terms of accuracy, but the combo matters here.
Yeah, 300 points, the difference between the two teams on the first LN map that was played. This one, a different one. We'll see if this one ends up any differently here, and we can see everyone off to a good start. No big accuracy drops to be spoken of here, and both teams basically tied in the score.
It's literally just almost exactly the same accuracy.
Yeah, and we're seeing all four players still above 99.7. This is insanely high standards here. Oct4 dropping a few 200s there. That's going to give Brazil a little bit of a lead, but Ak across the board seems to be starting to kind of lower just a little bit. No one above that 99.8 anymore. And Silly Fangirl actually the one that's holding the highest accuracy in the lobby right now.
We just got a couple points apart here, and not too much of a difference either.
1,000 points the lead, but Oct4 finds a miss. That's going to be the first miss here. That's going to give Brazil a bit of a lead now as the accuracy drop as well. But Tart, that's an even bigger miss.
Oh my
down
God.
to 99.3%. That was a really, really messy one. And now all the way back in Australia's favor, traded backwards.
Yeah, just some more severe damage as time goes on, but Brazil really has to step up here in terms of gaining accuracy to fix the damage that they have done. Australia, though, was almost on pace, but another drop by Tart there.
And I think that was a massive opportunity for a breakpoint from Brazil, but unfortunately double misses coming in from Tart. Oct4 finds another miss, but that was a very clean one relative to the Brazil misses, and Silly Fangirl dropping the accuracy now a little bit now. So Australia with a definitely clear accuracy advantage. This is going to be their point again, but once more, this was so close. These points are coming. They're coming down to the absolute wire here, as we're seeing Silly Fangirl and Luca being the two players to FC for their teams, really putting up strong performances there.
Quote-unquote fine pick, which I might add, it might actually just have been a tie if they actually didn't miss a lot there. But now, actually, we're gonna see Wave Tapper.
Wait, this is dangerous. This is really. I would have expected Rise 5 to be the pick, but I guess Brazil thinking they're gonna have one more pick later, maybe. But this is one that I think Australia has some pretty scary scores on. But at the same time, the question is whether or not Australia can keep up the combo. I think here.
Yeah. To the same token, Brazil should have a safe distance in terms of ratio, but this is a different kind of chart that you would normally see, because Core Jack is a Core Jack pick, as people might have not noticed. Core Jack can yield some insane accuracy and also the meme accuracy. Whichever of the two, there's not much of a difference.
I would expect Luca to be subbing in actually for this one, for Australia. So a different combination to what we've been seeing so far, and of course the same two players from Brazil here. I think Silly Fangirl absolutely one of the players to look out for in this match, as in this map, as we've seen all match, has been the player to look out for the ratio, and this is an absolute ratio map, if you can hold the combo, that is.
Also, this kind of chart is that you can't really 100% autopilot this. There's some sparse 1/4 streams at the back end of the chart. that might actually just kill your timing cues a little bit.
It looks like we're still waiting for just one more player to come in from Team Australia.
I would have lost my mind if it's actually Bouncer coming in, because that would have been a different story.
I do not expect Bouncer to come in, but I agree that would be very funny. Shout out to Bouncer, by the way.
Their overall mascot in terms of Australia. You know, I mean, have been a prominent name from like the last 2 years or so. I see Bouncer just there. Yeah, so I guess the only thing that in my mind right now is gonna be Op4 coming in. I don't see anyone else coming in.
Luca,
actually,
Luca should be. Yeah, Luca should be the pick for this one.
I guess it's interesting, but I feel like I actually don't know, because in terms of accuracy, it would actually outshine both of these two Brazilians, but I'm not too sure either.
I think in any other situation, you know, in 4K or in harder maps, I think it would be strange to see Luca being subbed in for a quad pick, but I think this being easy enough for them to play comfortably, I think Luca does have the better AC on Team Australia, at least compared to Oct4 for this pick. But we'll have to see. As I said, I think misses are like fairly likely for Team Australia on this one. So
yeah, let's see if their practice pays off now.
And yeah, we can see right away all 4 players above 99.9, as we've seen a couple times on this map, a very, very scary one, where even individual 200s can make a massive dent in the score lead.
It's literally no difference whatsoever. They're both tied in the minuscule of accuracies, but Nate though actually on the 99.99 pace here, so there's a slight hint of advantage for Brazil by only a couple of 100 points.
What are these ACs? 99.93 is the lowest one right now, and during that break I think maybe some of the players got to see that point lead being only 300 points, so a single 200 enough to swing this back the other way. Luca's starting to increase the accuracy, almost matching Silly Fangirl.
But Zilo is also gaining a little bit there, trying to match Tart, but at the same to the same token, 99.97 being on the slowest for Brazil right now is kind of insane.
Yeah, this is crazy score from Brazil currently, but Silly Fangirl, of all players to miss, it's traded by Luca, but that was a bit of a messier miss from Silly Fangirl. Look at that accuracy, 99.8. I think Australia has the AC lead right now, despite those traded misses.
There's still back end of the chart that might actually mess up a few of these players right now, and
even more accuracy drop.
Scene right now, dude.
Even more accuracy drop from Silly Fangirl after that miss, down now to 99.75. So this is an accuracy lead for Australia going into the last third of the map. There are, as you said, some of those tricky bursts that happen at the end of the map, and that could trip up some of these players in terms of the accuracy.
We're still not to the end. Oh my god, there's a bit of an accuracy drop by Aruka there to 99.9 right now. It's actually kind of negate the advantage by Australia here.
That's an accuracy increase. Luca was at 99.87 before. So Luca actually increasing the accuracy after the miss. And now this is a 3,000 point lead. They just need to hold on to the combo, I think, through these bursts at the very end.
This is the only here, yeah.
And a 200 from Tart.
It's hard here, but there's enough time? I don't think so. 200 by Sela there, but oh my god,
that is going to be the first breakpoint that we're seeing in the match. Zila,
oh my god, dude,
and Tart both with the full combos.
They're both on the same number of 300s by Brazil, but unfortunate that Silly Fangirl took a messier drop there.
You can see the 250s and the 100 so damaging to the accuracy, even though Silly Fangirl, I think, still had the best ratio in the lobby, even at the very end. But now this is giving Australia all the momentum they need. They can go straight into Hybrid 3. This is the pick that they've been saving for last. And they're going to try to close the match out right now. Brazil, they're going to have to win this one. And I think it's very possible, given what we've seen so far from the hybrids. And if Brazil win this one, I think we might actually be looking at a potential tiebreaker situation, but Australia should be the favorites at least for this map.
I think to the same token, Australia does not have any other choice because there's only this hybrid and also sequential emotions that are also polarizing that I believe that would be very risky to go through.
Yeah, definitely. Hybrid 2 is definitely one that I think you'd feel a lot less comfortable with picking just in general. This one, though, a little bit harder in terms of just physicality, in terms of just patterning. So, yeah, we're not going to see My Angel Zero coming in. This is going to be Oct4 and Luca for Australia, absolutely. And I feel like maybe the harder the maps get, it might favor Australia more and more, as we know these players have some extreme physical capability.
Yeah, alright, we've seen probably one of the last stretch for Australia to win this match. We'll see how this goes.
But yeah, Brazil looking for their own breakpoint, and even though it is 2 points the lead of Australia, this is just one breakpoint difference between the two teams. So if Brazil were to win this one, it would effectively tie the match right up. So they are still absolutely in this one.
All intro does not really matter because they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, we've seen some close starts. I think overall, looking at the accuracy on a lot of these hybrid picks.
Bit of 200 by off there on one of the releases there.
Yeah, Tart also dropping a bit of accuracy down to 99.6. But that's going to be a little bit of an advantage towards Brazil because Silly Fangirl is still holding some inhuman 99.9% accuracy at this point.
We'll see how this works for most of... Oh no, Ruka actually taking the first drop here. Might give the lead a little bit to Brazil at the moment right now, but Tart's accuracy continuing to go downwards.
Yeah, that was a very, very clean miss from Ruka, like kind of maintaining that accuracy at around 99.6. So I feel like this accuracy from Australia definitely still sticking in things. It's just that one miss that's keeping Brazil...
No,
now a second one.
That pattern is straight up almost disgusting because of the descending chord there. Actually tripped up off there.
Yeah, so 2 misses from Australia and still 2 FCs on the side of Brazil. And they're going to maintain this lead for a while now. Oct4 actually dropping in accuracy with that miss, down to 99.3. So Brazil now with the clear accuracy lead, as well as these 2 misses. This is looking very good for them. 11,000 points in the lead right now. But still a third of the map left.
There's still the last third, yeah, but... Oh, actually another drop by Ruka now. Actually no FCs, and Brazil still have their 2. So it really comes down to just keeping your combos on. Keeping full combo already on this is already a safe lead.
Yeah, and we still have double on the side of Brazil. Silly Fangirl still on 99.65. No one else matching that accuracy in the lobby. Tart struggling a little bit more, but still...
Tart,
finding that miss at that point.
Good.
That is an unfortunate miss now, and actually the lead is going to shrink quite a lot because that accuracy from Tart is dropping quite a lot now. But I just don't know if there's enough time, even if there was another miss from Brazil. It feels like the lead is...
Yeah, there is some time in this. I believe if they don't free fall in terms of accuracy, this should be Brazil's point, and that is a break point.
A breakpoint right back, 5,000 points off the back of, once again, Silly Fangirl getting a really solid FC, the only FC of the lobby there, at 987k. So Australia
Oh my god.
loses their chance, the best chance that they are going to get in this match, and Brazil are going to have their own pick. There is only one pick I can possibly imagine coming out now.
There's only one pick, and there's the chance of a tactical timeout for Brazil. That should be a good chance to use it now.
Yeah, a tactical timeout, not to discuss tactics, but just to have a bit of a breather, really, because they only have one choice. This is the easiest decision that Brazil will make, I think. It is the map that they protected, after all, right? Being the Rice 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it, for Brazil's pick to go for. It's just really if Brazil picks sequential emotions, I'm gonna have a lot of questions.
Yeah, no, there's no way that's gonna happen. I can only imagine Rice 5 being the pick. And it comes out here. Brazil have looked very, very solid on these Rice maps as far as the accuracy is concerned. I think they have the better Rice accuracy overall, but the combo is what's really caused some issues for both teams so far in this match.
Yeah, this is probably the only instance where protected pick being picked like on the last pick before the tiebreaker. I guess this is probably one of their greatest chances for Brazil to be able to get their protected at the very last pick before the tiebreaker.
Yeah, and here we go. We're keeping the same players in here, Oct4 and Ruka staying in for Australia. And of course, the same two players for Brazil as well.
Yeah, we'll see how this works, because if Brazil wins this, we're gonna go to see Sub-Zero coming out after this. And if Australia wins, they're gonna go and move on to the winners bracket of quarterfinals.
But I think for sure on a map like this, Australia is hoping for misses coming out from Brazil. And very bad start from Luca there, dropping below 99%. It's going to give Brazil a little bit of an early lead, but nothing too serious just yet.
I think you've noticed that Ruka's hitting early on the early side here. That's a lot of 300s being dropped, not rainbows. So that could have been a damage already.
Yeah, and this lead is already growing a decent amount here. Silly Fangirl stays ahead of the pack. Tart actually dropped a couple 200s there, so accuracy might even out just a little bit, but still 4,000 points the lead in favor of Brazil.
There should be no breather after this, because it really comes down to some of the wackier patterns in this. Ruka does gain some accuracy a little bit, but you would have to match Tart in order to negate that any kind of advantage right now for Brazil.
Yeah, and Tart's already caught up with Oct4 again, so Oct4 and Tart both matching each other. Silly Fangirl, though, way ahead of Luca, 99.87%.
Alright, comes with a 1/3 section here.
In Australia at this point are going to have to hope for some misses or some absolutely gigantic accuracy drop. And I think there is one particularly tricky section that's coming up in this second half here. This is a point where we may see pretty massive chokes.
Polyrhythmic section does give me anxiety, and this should not happen for both of these players to have a nerve coming up until this point.
We see some 200s from quite a few players here. Luca, Tart, and Oct all dropping a bit of accuracy. Silly Fangirl drops a tiny bit of accuracy, but still maintaining that 99.83. And now this lead, 12,000, even though we have 4 FCs on the board, the accuracy difference is just looking too big right now for Brazil.
Ruka started to hit on the early side again. Might have dropped a 200 and some barrage of 300s. And there's still all this only section left, and I don't think there's that much time left for Australia here. And
there is not.
Oh, there's the drop by Ruka.
That's gonna be it.
Seals and a nail in the coffin, and Brazil's gonna go to a tiebreaker against Australia, 4-4.
Tiebreaker coming out here in this match.
Oh my god, V1 double S!
Oh my god, Silly Fangirl. That is some terrifying accuracy. And this one is going to be insanely close. The tiebreaker map here, hybrid of course, which means that maybe Australia feels a little bit more comfortable in the tiebreaker than Brazil would, but we just saw what happened in Hybrid 3 as well. Brazil can absolutely put up a massive performance on these hybrid picks as well.
Alright, with this, I think we should have a little bit of a knowledge. Up until this point, we've seen 2 hybrids being played, and I guess a fair share for other picks as well. But at this point in time, I absolutely have no idea where the advantage should be, because the LN should be relatively fine for Australia, but Brazil has the upper advantage on the ratio here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the ratio, I mean, the accuracy we've seen in particularly in some LN sections has looked better for Australia than it has been for Brazil. But at the same time, that ratio from Silly Fangirl just can't really be dismissed. We're seeing Lothus Fangirl subbing in. I don't think that's going to be... I think you have to put Silly Fangirl in this one, right?
Yeah, I think this it's probably a timeout, so mine might have just filled in the spot, but not really the finalized 2 players for the lobby. So might have been a little bit of a breather for both of these teams because nerfs are going through the roof right now.
Yeah, I can imagine all these players are probably feeling extremely nervous. And this is not an easy tiebreaker as well, so we may see a lot of misses coming in back and forth. But I'm not actually sure who that favors. Because we've seen it happen both ways. We've seen Brazil being the one to miss more, and we've also seen Australia being the one to miss more on different maps, respectively.
Yeah, that's what I said at the very start. So
yeah, so I actually can't call this one. I actually don't know who is going to win this one at this point. But I do know the players that are going to be playing in this one. I think there shouldn't be any question for either team. It should be Oct4 and Luca coming in, and Silly Fangirl we're seeing join back into the lobby alongside Tart.
I think we can probably take a pretty good guess that I think some of these sections might favor one team and one and the other, so it might just come down to wire at the very end.
Yeah, I think Australia are definitely going to be looking to try and gain an advantage on those LN sections, but of course Brazil have looked like the stronger Rice team throughout this match.
Yeah, the question would be whether if Maya Zila or Ruka be the second player for Australia.
It'll be Luca. It'll be Luca.
Or it would be Bouncer.
Bouncer subbing in for the tiebreaker just to 1-0 for everyone to see.
1 million, yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, just letting everyone take a breather, making sure their nerves are calmed down just a little bit because they cannot afford to be that nervous at this point when the maps have been so close.
Yeah, this is their last stretch for a ticket to the Winners Bracket quarterfinals, and they have to do it right.
And here we go into the very last map of the match. Tiebreaker time.
Please do support for both, or support your favorite teams, I might add, because this is really going to be a wild ride.
5 minutes long. Accuracy is going to matter quite a lot, but of course, if someone can hold the combo for a significant period of time, that is also going to give a team a very large advantage. Early kind of accuracy drops a little bit from Luca, but nothing too significant.
So that's
still very minor.
Actually.
Oh yeah, both matching each other. And Oct4 and Silly Fangirl also matching each other right out of the gates as well. Actually, Oct4 is holding an incredible accuracy right now. 99.83.
He's trying to outmatch... Oh, actually, there's a first drop there. Kind of at a cost of sharpshooting a little bit too hard there.
Yeah, drops a little bit, but still holding 99.63. Actually, Australia still has the accuracy lead. Overawed by just a little bit, so that miss is not going to mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. Tart is dropping a little bit of accuracy, same as Silly Fangirl on some of those LN patterns, and we can see this score lead is within a few hundred points.
They're still neck and neck, even though they're trying to capitalize on the more of the hybridish section. And there's another drop there by Oct there.
Just as Australia was about to take it back.
That's the cleanest drop that they could actually ever have.
Yeah, Oct had some extremely clean drops so far, and that's keeping them still in this. Only 2,000 points, not a very big lead whatsoever, as Silly Fangirl is building the accuracy back up, now the highest accuracy in the lobby. So that's going to help out Team Brazil quite a lot as they go through this Rise section.
By a slim margin, I might add. And there's another drop. There's a trade, actually. Oh, actually, it couldn't go either way. Tart is the only one that is still keeping up with the FC, but that's probably not going to last very long, isn't it?
Yeah, we can see this lead is starting to shrink a little bit after that trade. We can see the accuracy in clear favor of Australia now. Oct4 in the lead. Silly Fangirl with another miss. And now that comes with a significant accuracy drop as well. Look at the accuracies for Team Australia, both higher than Brazil, even though Tart is the only one with the full combo. This is going 2,000 points in the lead of Team Australia after the first half.
All accuracies are now on Australia's advantage at this point, and they really cannot afford to lose it.
Oh, but it's so close. 3,000 points now as we're seeing Tart dropping an accuracy down to 99.4. Silly Fangirl also... Oh, the Tart dropping in combo!
There's the last FC!
No more full combos left. Everyone on the field has missed. But that ends up favoring Australia because they do have the superior accuracies for now. Off the back of Oct4, it is all on him right now.
It is all on accuracy. It's pretty much... Australia has the advantage right now in terms of accuracy. They really need to mess up big time for Brazil to be able to catch up. And there's another drop by Tart there.
Yeah, Tart not feeling comfortable with some of these LN patterns, and Silly Fangirl also trips up the double miss from Brazil, and this lead is going to start ballooning. Another miss from Silly Fangirl. These accuracies now tanking as well on Team Brazil's side. And Australia holding on. After those few misses at the very start of the map, Australia has been able to amass these massive combos you can see here. Almost 4,000 for Oct, 3,000 for Luca, and this lead starts feeling like it's going to be very comfortable for Australia if they can manage to keep these up.
When you see a team did miss after the very last miss, if you see already amass a really large combo, I believe that would have been like almost a nail in the coffin. It's literally because the scores are almost the exact same for Australia, for both Hawk and Ruka.
Yeah, they are rivals for a reason here. Tart finding a miss here as we're getting into the very last section of the map. This lead is becoming 20,000 points in the favor of Australia. This is going to feel like Brazil are losing their time in this map. I think there's almost no time to come back. They're going to need a colossal collapse from Team Australia if they want to recover this lead.
Yeah, there's not that much time left. There's only this core stream left, but I believe that would be pretty much a nail in the coffin because 20,000 is already almost unrecoverable because of the high accuracy by Australia that already matched up.
This is just an incredible accuracy performance from Team Australia on this tiebreaker pick. They've managed to maintain these accuracies for the entire map without even dropping a little bit. And that's going to be it.
There is it. There it is. Brazil is on losing spot for the winners bracket, and there will be moved on to the losers bracket for one of the quarterfinals. And you can already see Australia's rivals for a reason, and their scores are just literally a couple 100 points apart. And they managed to dominate their win here. Congratulations to Australia.
And an incredible team performance on the tiebreaker. Despite those early misses, Australia is going to be the one moving on 5-4 over Team Brazil, and they're going to stay in the winners bracket while Brazil moves down to the losers bracket, still with another chance. And I think Brazil is looking like a scary team down in that losers bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. Commiserations for Brazil there for actually putting up a lot of fight in terms of getting really high ratios, actually beating some of the picks for by Australia by quite a bit of a margin. But at the end of the day, tiebreaker is a tiebreaker, and Australia did manage to secure that win. And it's going to be kind of tricky to get through, especially when later pools going to come out, and Australia probably will have their dominance over the next pools for sure.
Yeah, so just to have a look at the matchups as well that we're seeing for next week, it is going to be Australia versus the winner of South Korea versus Taiwan, while Brazil is going to be moving down into the losers bracket to verse France next week. So some more exciting matches coming up there. But for now, I think we don't have much time until the next matchup here. We thought this one was close. I think the next one has the potential to be just as close as well. Canada versus USA. So we're going to take a very short break right now, but stay tuned. We'll be back in 4 minutes.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. This is going to be a hell of a ride.